Hi guys, while Brexit may not be front and centre at the moment politically, it could still have an impact on the Tories come election day. As pointed out here by polling expert Sir John Curtice, many Brexit voters are having a change of mind. These are likely people who voted Tory back in 2019 on the back of Boris Johnson's Get Brexit Done pledge. But as they see it for what it is, a mess, some are switching to Labour. However, some of those who still think it's a good idea are heading in the direction of Reform UK. This means the Conservatives are losing Brexit voters on both sides. But maybe not all hope is lost for Rishi Sunak. Have a listen.
Well, we certainly should bear in mind that the Reform Party has been gathering at around 6% of the vote now in the national opinion polls for quite a while. Indeed, some people have been saying, that actually their performance in parliamentary by-elections hasn't really matched that. And I think one could even still say the same of that about the two by-elections in Thursday. I mean, only just getting over 5% of the vote in a constituency, Tamworth, where 2/3 of people voted Leave in 2016, is perhaps rather less than you might expect given that poll standing. That said, I mean, however well Reform are doing, it's certainly 3, 4, 5% in the by-elections is now becoming commonplace. Sure, virtually all of these people are people who voted Leave in 2016, and therefore we can reasonably surmise are at least people who voted Conservative back in 2019. And that insofar as, one of the other problems the Conservative Party faces is that there is a fair degree of discontent with how well Brexit is going. Of course, yes, amongst a lot of Remainers, but also amongst a lot of Leavers. Now, some of those are people who've said, well, you know what, I'm not quite sure it was such a good idea after all. They're particularly concerned about the economic consequences, and they are the kinds of people who in some instances have gone off to Labour. But sure, there are others who feel that Brexit has not been implemented properly, that we've not taken full advantage of the opportunities that they think that it creates. And Reform UK are clearly a potential source of a way of expressing that view. And yes, there is no doubt that this is one of the Conservative Party, it has to worry about losing votes, as it were, to its right, as well as to the Labour Party and the Democrats. Although, of course, I guess what the Conservatives might hope, and one of the ways in which they might begin to be able to get their vote figures up, is that perhaps when a general election is more firmly in view, that some of the people who are saying they will vote Reform will decide in the end, better the devil you they know, rather than casting a vote for a party that at the moment at least doesn't look as though it's got much chance of winning any seats.
It's always a pleasure to hear what Sir John Curtice has to say, because he's an expert and we need to listen more to experts. Now, let's start at the end here. Yes, it could be the case that when the election comes around, support that we're seeing at the moment for Reform UK could just switch back to the Conservatives, because people will see, look, it's there's a general election. We haven't seen Reform UK fight a general election. We've seen them appear in by-elections. They've picked up some support, not anything really significant. So it could be easier on the Conservatives than we're expecting, because at the moment some of the support that would normally go to the Conservatives is going to Reform UK. And in Tamworth, if the right wing beyond the Conservatives had actually supported the Tories, they would have held on to the seat. Now, Reform UK at the moment are not able to make any real inroads, as was pointed out by Sir John Curtice here, on the issue of Brexit. Tamworth voted 2/3 in favour of leaving the European Union. So you would have imagined Reform UK would have picked up more support there. So maybe Brexit isn't, as we imagine, front and centre on people's minds at the moment. People are focusing more on cost of living, the economy, education, NHS, stuff like that. But if if Reform UK can bang the drum of Brexit stronger, and they can get someone like Nigel Farage to bang that drum as well, they could convince more and more people that, well, the reason things are going badly at the moment is, yes, it's partly because of Brexit, but it's because of the type of Brexit that we got. Boris Johnson betrayed the 17.4 million people. The Tories have abandoned Brexit. They aren't real Brexiteers. So if Reform UK can convince more people who are not happy with the type of Brexit they got, or are convinced that Brexit could be a success if the right people were in charge, this could help Reform UK. And of course this would eat into the vote share that the Conservatives have and split the vote, which of course would damage some Tories and cause them to lose their seats in marginal seats. So it's going to be very interesting going forward if Reform UK are able to convince more people that Brexit is an issue that is concerning for them. Then they have a chance of increasing their vote share. But as John Curtice has pointed out, there is also the possibility that people will just abandon Reform UK and focus on the Tories because they believe, well, we need to vote for somebody who has a chance. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.